Mm. The record stopped, but the needle stayed. A quiet groove where the music played. You didn't slam the door, you just let it swing. And I watched the dust settle on everything. Your coffee mug, a permanent stain, a fossil of warmth in the morning rain. No final argument, no dramatic scene, just the slow erasure of what we had been. How do you grieve a sound that never came? How do you mourn a love without a name? And the static in the space between us grew until it was all I ever knew. A hollow frequency, a dial turned down in a silent town where our love drowned. We became a photograph left in the rain, fading into nothing. Just the quiet and the pain. I trace the outline where your body used to lie, a ghost-shaped vacancy beneath the vacant sky. The words we saved for later turned to stone, and we were left to face the emptiness alone. How do you heal a wound that never bled? How do you bury thoughts left unsaid? And the static in the space between us grew until it was all I ever knew. A hollow frequency, a dial turned down in a silent town where our love drowned. We became a photograph left in the rain, fading into nothing. Just the quiet and the pain. The loudest sound is the clock on the wall, counting the seconds since you stopped calling at all. It wasn't fire and ash, it was frost and decay, a love that simply forgot how to stay. And the static in the space between us grew until it was all I ever knew. A hollow frequency, a dial turned down in a silent town where our love drowned. We became a photograph left in the rain, fading into nothing. Just the quiet and the pain. Just the static. Just the static. The record stopped before the final song. A needle lifted, placed where it belongs. Your sweater folded on the unmade bed. 100 conversations left unsaid. I watched you pack your books without a sound. Your footsteps softer than the rain on ground. No slamming doors, no shattered glass to sweep. Just promises we couldn't seem to keep. How do you grieve a love that never cried? How do you mourn a flame that never died? It was the last unheard whisper, a breath that never reached the air, a silent film with no projector, just empty frames and vacant chairs. We faded like a photograph, left in a drawer to gather dust. A quiet epilogue to us. Your coffee mug still sits beside the sink. I pour it out and try hard not to think about the mornings when you'd hum a tune. Now there's just silence in this empty room. How do you grieve a love that never cried? How do you mourn a flame that never died? It was the last unheard whisper, a breath that never reached the air, a silent film with no projector, just empty frames and vacant chairs. We faded like a photograph, left in a drawer to gather dust. A quiet epilogue to us. The hardest part of letting go this way is having nothing left that I can say. No final argument, no last embrace, just disappearing without leaving a trace. A whisper that never found its voice, just silence and this empty choice. The envelope sits by the sugar bowl. blank confession, a story on hold. My pen ran dry where your name should be, and the steam has stopped rising from this cup of tea. I rehearse the sentences in my head, all the colors of the things left unsaid. They curl and vanish like the last warm trace, leaving only this chill in an empty space. How do you measure the weight of a thought? How do you grieve for a battle never fought? And the morning grows old in this silent room, with the ghost of your laughter, the scent of your perfume. It's the quiet collapse of a sun that never rose, a story that ended before the chapter closed, just the stale scent of morning and all the words I chose not to send. The ceramic's gone cold against my palm, a bitter companion, a makeshift calm. I watch the cream congeal in a perfect swirl in the museum of a never-ending girl. How do you bury a feeling still alive? How do you say a goodbye that never arrives? And the morning grows old in this silent room, with the ghost of your laughter, the scent of your perfume. It's the quiet collapse of a sun that never rose, a story that ended before the chapter closed, just the stale scent of morning and all the words I chose not to send. The hardest truth is the one I can't confess, that some silences are louder, some emptiness is less. It's not the storm that breaks you in the end, it's the gentle erosion, the slow pretend. And the morning grows old in this silent room, with the ghost of your laughter, the scent of your perfume. It's the quiet collapse of a sun that never rose, a story that ended before the chapter closed, just the stale scent of morning and all the words I chose not to send. The ink has settled, the cup has chilled, and I'm still here, learning how a world grows stilled. stopped ticking at 3:15. Your side of the bed, a cold geography. I traced the shape of every word we didn't say, watched them evaporate and simply drift away. The phone sat silent, a relic on the shelf, a museum piece collecting only dust and self. No final argument, no slamming of a door, just the quiet settling of a love that was no more. How do you grieve a sound that never came? How do you bury a whisper without a name? And the last breath of a bell never rang in the cathedral where our promises once sang. Just the hollow echo where your voice used to dwell, when silence became the story we chose to tell. We were a song that forgot its melody and faded into a deafening memory. I found your favorite mug, still warm from the sun, a phantom of a habit, a ritual undone. I poured the tea and let the steam pretend that you were coming back to hold it in the end. And the last breath of a bell never rang in the cathedral where our promises once sang. Just the hollow echo where your voice used to dwell, when silence became the story we chose to tell. We were a song that forgot its melody and faded into a deafening memory. The loudest sound I've ever known was the space between us, completely grown. A canyon carved from things left unsaid, a universe born inside my head, where every I love you turned to stone. The last breath of a bell, just the silence where we ended. The record stopped before the final chord. A needle lifted, never touching down. Your sweater folded on the floor, a hollow echo where your voice once found. The piano keys collect a layer of dust, a metronome that's lost its steady beat. I trace the spaces where your hands would trust. The silence now feels painfully complete. How do you grieve a song that never played? How do you mourn the promises we made? In glances, not in words, in looks, not sound. This was our last unplayed melody, a symphony of what we'd never be. No crashing cymbals, no dramatic end, just fingers lifted, too afraid to bend. We left the music hanging in the air, a quiet exit from an empty chair. I find your bookmark in a half-read book, a sentence paused mid-thought, a frozen look. The story ends without a period's grace, an empty space I cannot seem to face. How do you close a door that wasn't shut? How do you heal a wound that never cut, but bleeds in silence deep beneath the skin? This was our last unplayed melody, a symphony of what we'd never be. No crashing cymbals, no dramatic end, just fingers lifting, too afraid to bend. We left the music hanging in the air, a quiet exit from an empty chair. The hardest note is one you never hear. The heaviest goodbye is one held dear in absence, in the space between the beats, in unfinished phrases, in retreats. No curtain call, no bow, no last applause, just fading light and unenforced laws of how a proper ending ought to sound. This was our last unplayed melody, a symphony of what we'd never be. No crashing cymbals, no dramatic end, just fingers lifting, too afraid to bend. We left the music hanging in the air, a quiet exit from an empty chair. The record spins, but plays no sound. The last unplayed melody finds its way to the ground. kettle's whistle fades to steam, a book left open on a dream. You folded your coat, a careful art, and quietly pulled yourself apart from the space beside me on the couch. A gentle, unremarkable slouch into the hallways, waiting dark, leaving no echo, leaving no spark. No slammed door to mark the line, no final argument of yours and mine, just the slow dissolve of we to I beneath a neutral clouded sky. The fire we built just turned to air, a silent, unprotesting stare that watched the embers lose their glow and simply let the ashes go. How do you grieve a war that never came? How do you lose a game you never named? This was the gentlest letting go, a tide receding painfully slow. No shattered glass, no battle cry, just a love learning how to die with a whisper, not a crash. We watched our future turn to ash. We let go of each other with a breath and not a fight. I traced the shape of where you were. The ghost of warmth begins to blur on sheets that slowly lose your scent, to mornings where no words are spent. The calendar pages blank and plain, marking a dull, persistent rain that washes clean the angry marks, leaving just these quiet, empty parks. How do you mourn a peace that feels like loss? How do you carry such a weightless cross? This was the gentlest letting go, a tide receding painfully slow. No shattered glass, no battle cry, just a love learning how to die with a whisper, not a crash. We watched our future turn to ash. We let go of each other with a breath and not a fight. The loudest sound is what we didn't say, the monument we built from clay that crumbled in the quiet rain. The deepest cut with no one to blame, just two shadows growing thin and pale, fading behind a silent veil. No finale, no last stand, just the unclasping of a hand. This was the gentlest letting go, a tide receding painfully slow. No shattered glass, no battle cry, just a love learning how to die with a whisper, not a crash. We watched our future turn to ash. We let go of each other with a breath and not a fight. Just a breath, not a fight. Just the turning off of a light. 1,000 letters in my head, each one a different way this could have been. They're stacked like ghosts inside my chest, a library of every word I kept. Your coffee mug still sits beside the sink, a fossil of a morning we forgot to drink. No angry shouts, no slamming of the door, just silence growing thicker on the floor. How do you grieve a story never told? How do you bury words that never grew old? We wrote a dictionary of our almost, pages filled with everything we lost, definitions of the space between our hands, and all the promises we never planned. We were a sentence left unfinished in the middle of a thought. I traced the outline where your shadow fell, a silhouette I know too well. It's not the fights we had that haunt this room, it's all the tenderness we left in bloom. We wrote a dictionary of our almost, pages filled with everything we lost, definitions of the space between our hands, and all the promises we never planned. We were a sentence left unfinished in the middle of a thought. The heaviest things are made of air, the weight of all we didn't dare to speak aloud, to give a name to this quiet, unclaimed flame. Just air and almost, and pages turning in a book we never learned to read. The dictionary on the shelf is closed, on the page where our definitions froze. Every entry ends with a comma, not a period. A sentence left hanging, a silent, steady war. I trace the outline of your name in dust on the table where our conversations rust. We build to language out of glances and of sighs. Then let the punctuation fade before our eyes. How do you conjugate a verb that never was? How do you diagram a love that lost its cause? This is the unfinished grammar of goodbye, a subject with no object, a question mark sky. We were a paragraph that stopped mid-breath, a story sentenced to a quiet, lingering death. We left the most important clause unsaid between the lines, forever in our heads. The syntax of this empty room's all wrong. The adverbs of your absence are too strong. I keep editing the memories we made, deleting the futures that began to fade. This is the unfinished grammar of goodbye, a subject with no object, a question mark sky. We were a paragraph that stopped mid-breath, a story sentenced to a quiet, lingering death. We left the most important clause unsaid between the lines, forever in our heads. The hardest lesson grammar never taught is how to speak the silence that we bought. No exclamation point to mark the end, just an ellipsis where you used to be my friend. An unfinished sentence in an unwritten book, the grammar of our goodbye. The swing chain rusts with every drop, a rhythm on the roof that never stops. This empty space where you would sit and wait, now just a hollow stage for heaven's weight. I left the door ajar of foolish hope that you'd come walking through the silver rope, a fallen light and water cold and clean. But all that enters is this ghostly scene. How do you measure absence by the inch? How do you mourn a love that left no pinch? And the rain keeps writing letters stories that I never understood. Each drop a period on a sentence never said. A blanket for the living and the dead. We built this porch to watch the storms together. Now I watch them alone in any weather. The paint is peeling where your hand would rest. A watermark of memories I can't erase. I trace the patterns in the morning light. A map of all we lost that stormy night. How do you heal a wound that never bled? How do you bury words that went unsaid? And the rain keeps writing letters on the wood, stories that I never understood. Each drop a period on a sentence never said. A blanket for the living and the dead. We built this porch to watch the storms together. Now I watch them alone in any weather. The hardest rain is not the one that falls, but the one that hangs in silence, never calls. It's the promise of a storm that never breaks. The emptiness a loving heart forsakes. I'm waiting for an echo in the pour, but some goodbyes don't make a sound anymore. And the rain keeps writing letters on the wood, stories that I never understood. Each drop a period on a sentence never said. A blanket for the living and the dead. We built this porch to watch the storms together. Now I watch them alone in any weather. Just the rain on empty wood, writing our ending in water and blood. I still make the bed for two, fold the sheets like you're coming through. Your favorite mug sits on the shelf, collecting dust myself. The radio plays our old song, but the melody feels all wrong. I dance alone in the living room light, holding shadows through the night. How do you love what you cannot touch? How do you miss someone this much, when every memory's just a photograph, fading to a silent epitaph? I'm loving a ghost in this empty space, tracing your smile on an unseen face, whispering secrets to the empty air, pretending somehow that you're still there. This haunting is the sweetest pain, a beautiful endless pouring rain. I find your hairbrush in the drawer, a single strand, nothing more. I press it gently to my cheek, too fragile even now to speak. How do you love what you cannot keep? How do you wake from this endless sleep, when every morning's just another dawn, with every trace of you already gone? I'm loving a ghost in this empty space, tracing your smile on an unseen face, whispering secrets to the empty air, pretending somehow that you're still there. This haunting is the sweetest pain, a beautiful endless pouring rain. They say time heals, they say move on, but what if moving on means you're truly gone? So I'll stay here in this haunted room, where your absence blooms and blooms. I'm loving a ghost in this empty space, tracing your smile on an unseen face, whispering secrets to the empty air, pretending somehow that you're still there. This haunting is the sweetest pain, a beautiful endless pouring rain. Loving a ghost, loving a ghost in the quiet after the rain. The record stopped, but the needle stayed, a quiet groove where the music played. You didn't slam the door, you just let it swing, and I watched the dust settle on everything. Your coffee mug, a permanent stain, a fossil of warmth in the morning rain. No final argument, no dramatic scene, just the slow erasure of what we had been. How do you grieve a sound that never came? How do you mourn a love without a name? And the static in the space between us grew until it was all I ever knew. A hollow frequency, a dial turned down in a silent town where our love drowned. We became a photograph left in the rain, fading into nothing. Just the quiet and the pain. Trace the outline where your body used to lie, a ghost-shaped vacancy beneath the vacant sky. The words we saved for later turned to stone, and we were left to face the emptiness alone. Unsaid, and the static in the space between us grew until it was all I ever knew. A hollow frequency, a dial turned down in a silent town where our love drowned. We became a photograph left in the rain, fading into nothing. Just the quiet and the pain. The loudest sound is the clock on the wall, counting the seconds since you stopped calling at all. It wasn't fire and ash, it was frost and decay. A love that simply forgot how to stay. And the static in the space between us grew until it was all I ever knew. A hollow frequency, a dial turned down in a silent town where our love drowned. We became a photograph left in the rain, fading into nothing. Just the quiet and the pain. Just the static. Just the static. The record stopped before the final song. A needle lifted, placed where it belongs. Your sweater folded on the unmade bed. 100 conversations left unsaid. I watched you pack your books without a sound. Your footsteps softer than the rain on ground. No slamming doors, no shattered glass to sweep, just promises we couldn't seem to keep. How do you grieve a love that never cried? How do you mourn a flame that never died? It was the last unheard whisper, a breath that never reached the air, a silent film with no projector, just empty frames and vacant chairs. We faded like a photograph, left in a drawer to gather dust. A quiet epilogue to us. Your coffee mug still sits beside the sink. I pour it out and try hard not to think about the mornings when you'd hum a tune. Now there's just silence in this empty room. How do you grieve a love that never cried? How do you mourn a flame that never died? It was the last unheard whisper, a breath that never reached the air, a silent film with no projector, just empty frames and vacant chairs. We faded like a photograph, left in a drawer to gather dust. A quiet epilogue to us. The hardest part of letting go this way is having nothing left that I can say. No final argument, no last embrace, just disappearing without leaving a trace. A whisper that never found its voice, just silence and this empty choice. The envelope sits by the sugar bowl, a blank confession, a story on hold. My pen ran dry where your name should be, and the steam has stopped rising from this cup of tea. I rehearse the sentences in my head, all the colors of the things left unsaid. They curl and vanish like the last warm trace leaving only this chill in an empty space. How do you measure the weight of a thought? How do you grieve for a battle never fought? And the morning grows old in this silent room, with the ghost of your laughter, the scent of your perfume. It's the quiet collapse of a sun that never rose, a story that ended before the chapter closed, just the stale scent of morning, and all the words I chose not to send. The ceramic's gone cold against my palm, a bitter companion, a makeshift calm. I watch the cream congeal in a perfect swirl in the museum of a never-ending girl. How do you bury a feeling still alive? How do you say a goodbye that never arrives? And the morning grows old in this silent room, with the ghost of your laughter, the scent of your perfume. It's the quiet collapse of a sun that never rose, a story that ended before the chapter closed, just the stale scent of morning, and all the words I chose not to send. The hardest truth is the one I can't confess, that some silences are louder, some emptiness is less. It's not the storm that breaks you in the end, it's the gentle erosion, the slow pretend. And the morning grows old in this silent room, with the ghost of your laughter, the scent of your perfume. It's the quiet collapse of a sun that never rose, a story that ended before the chapter closed, just the stale scent of morning, and all the words I chose not to send. The ink has settled, the cup has chilled, and I'm still here, learning how a world grows still.